Welcome to the latest Manchester United news. It's been a slow day regarding news for Manchester United, but there have been some movements on potential transfers. So the main topic is the Hojlund interest. So there are some clubs who are looking at Rasmus Hojlund. Does Manchester United sell or keep him for the next season? Then there's the Mbeumo negotiations. So we know that the player wants to stay, but what's going on and what's the latest on that? Then there's a Martinez. Lisandro Martinez has been linked for a move away from Manchester United. Is that true? I don't know. Let's see. And then finally, Manchester United released its quarterly statements recently. It's a lot of financial information, but the main thing is we need to talk about the wage structure, which they have incorporated, at least since Ineos has come in. So let's start with first the Hojlund interest. So Hojlund is a pretty divisive figure at Manchester United. So do you keep him? Do you let him go? I know he hasn't played well, but I also don't blame him, because if you're going into the transfer window and getting 2 10s as your first order of business, that means your present 10s in the team are not doing their job, and that's why you need them replaced. Does Rasmus do better with the new signings, Matthias Cunha and Bryan Mbeumo? Maybe, possibly, but does Man United have the patience for that? I know we know that there's a good chance that Man United will go get a striker, but then can you hold on to Rasmus and keep him as a decent backup? But then you also don't want to hold on to him if you cannot guarantee him playing time, because what he needs right now is confidence and also playing time, possibly playing for a team where he gets good amount of minutes and where he can succeed. So possibly a transfer outside of the English Premier League, so possibly Spain or even actually not Spain, because I don't think he's good with the ball at his feet, but like maybe Germany or possibly even back to Italy. So this is what Ducker from Telegraph has said. Manchester United are not actively seeking to part ways with Rasmus Hojlund, but both the club and the player are aware of Inter's interests. It would take around 45 to 50 million euros to persuade United to sell. Inter would prefer a loan initially with an option or obligation to buy. Yeah, 45 to 50 million euros. No Italian club is going to pay that much, especially for Rasmus after having a poor season. I understand that they have interest. I can see that, because I think just like Scott McTominay went last summer to Napoli and became the player of the season in the Serie A, I think Rasmus can go back to Italy and do really well. But are they really going to pay 45 to 50 million euros? No, there's no way. There's no way anybody is going to pay 40. So that's where you have options. So you either so my preference would be either send him out on a loan, and then let's see how he does. And then at the end of the loan, he would get playing time, and then he would be called up for the. I don't know if Denmark is in the World Cup, but if they are, he would be called up next summer, and then hopefully he'll get more playing time, and then you could decide whether to keep him or to sell him. I would still hold on to him, because I think once they go for a striker next, you need a backup, because I know you're not playing in Europe, but you still need a backup, because you can't run the main striker into the ground. So even if you get Gyökeres, I don't think he should be playing 90 minutes across 38 games. But at least a good backup like Rasmus, who comes on in the last 15-20 minutes where he has to just run and up and down, I think that would be good for his development. But if they loan him out, I'm okay with that too. But who's the backup then? Is it Xerxes? But I think Xerxes would most probably be a backup for one of the 10s. Xerxes and Ahmad would probably be a backups for the 10s, for the main 10s, which would be Matthias Cunha and Bryan Mbeumo. I mean, just look at we all the present day wingers who Man United have are all going to leave. So Marcus Rashford is going to leave, Sancho is going to leave, and even Garnacho is going to leave. So you are really down in numbers. So yeah, even if you don't enjoy watching Rasmus play, you still need to. I think they'll hold on to him, because unless it's crazy money, then you would sell him and then get possibly Cheeto to be a full-time squad member. But even Cheeto needs playing time. So are you going to bring him up to the first team and then not give him game time, and then he's not getting developed either in the academy or with the main team? I don't know. I think this is interesting, because unless they get a good deal, I don't think they would send him out. But we should wait and see. Let's see what happens. Yeah, this is what I had mentioned, that so there's also recognition in Italy of the challenges he has faced at United, not least the burden placed on one so young to lead the line with little experience support to learn off or lean on. That's the same thing in Man United. I mean, we were not only ill-equipped to help him out, but we also put too much responsibility on him that it wasn't fair. But that's why I would, if you don't get another striker, hold on to him, let him develop, let him look at a professional, hopefully it's Gyökeres, and how to deal with the day-to-day and how to get better. And then let Cheeto still stay in the academy, keep getting game time. And if you think Cheeto is developing really well, then send Cheeto out on loan. But I'm just worried about shortage of basically it's just shortage in numbers in the number 9 position. So let's see. And Fabrizio had this to say about Victor Gyökeres. I mean, there's not much movement. He's not been speaking much as well, and there's no information being leaked out, at least through his agents. But this is what Fabrizio had to say. Victor Gyökeres was keen to move to United before the Europa League final, before they didn't qualify. However, he is still open to assessing all options, and it's not Champions League or nothing. United will have a chance to sign him, depends on sales. I think there's a gentleman's agreement between Gyökeres and Ruben or Manchester United saying, hey, just hold on, we'll get you, but we need you to have some patience, because right now we don't have the money to get you. We need some sales. We have these 3 players who are definitely leaving. We just need to find the best buyers out there. So it's going to take some time, but just see who we are getting in. We have already gotten the 10s in. You are going to get service. And with Bruno staying, even more service. One of the leading assist makers in the Premier League. So I think it's a dream scenario. The only thing, no Europe, but I mean, among all those clubs, he has a good chance of winning something. This is his first year. So I think he also respects Ruben. He respects that Ruben will be the best to utilize his talent. So I think he might come, but I mean, how fast will you get these sales done? There's still not much movement on the sales. I don't think any sales will happen in this first bit of the transfer window, because Rashford is not in a hurry, Barcelona is not in a hurry, Sancho, who knows where he's going to go unless he reduces his demands, and Anthony, unless Real Betis is, I don't think they are in a hurry either. They got some money recently, but they'll probably wait as well. So this might be drawn out. I don't know, maybe Gyökeres might not play in the preseason, or he might come in midway through the preseason, but let's see what happens. The second topic I'd like to discuss is the Mbeumo negotiations. We all know Mbeumo is coming to Manchester United. He has shown interest. Manchester United have shown interest, and it's all about just negotiating the fees. I mentioned in an earlier video, I don't like it where clubs find out that Manchester United is interested and then they just hike up the transfer fee. I think we should set a precedent where we should make it clear to them that, hey, this is not how the new Man United works, and that you just can't push us over and demand any fee that you like. So I'm okay with this taking some time. I know he wants his players for preseason, but Mbeumo should be fine. I think this is the time where you get Ahmad more playing time, work him in to the team, because I know he started last season, but he was also injured for most of the season as well. So get him back, get Mason Mount. Oh, yeah, Mason Mount as well, yeah. So get them game time. Mbeumo should be fine. Just I think this will be done early, but if it was my opinion, just don't just bend over backwards for any fee and just get this done, because this is crazy that we're paying 65 million pounds for a player who was going to go for about 50 million pounds before Man United entered the picture. So let's see. So there were some rumors yesterday that a second bid has been gone, but I think it's still in the negotiation stages, and nothing is happened. So this is what Fabrizio had to say. Manchester United's second proposal for Mbeumo is ready and closer to the evaluation of Matheus Cunha. Mbeumo has been clear he wants United. So yeah, it's going to happen. This hopefully whenever it happens, but I just don't like it. I just don't like it. How can you just start demanding some fees because of how much Man United paid for another player who had a release clause, and there was no chance Wolves were going to let him go. So, but it is what it is. This is an interesting thing which I heard about. So there's a podcast, the Stretford Paddock podcast, and they had some guy on there, and they were interviewing him, and I didn't watch the entire interview. I just saw a clip of it on social media, but basically they were talking about how Mbeumo would be a threat in the front three, and basically they attributed it to his big posterior, which would help him shield the ball, and it kind of makes sense. Yeah, the guest on that show brought up how Yaya Toure would have problems with players who are big, especially especially who was that guy? Eden Hazard. Yes, I mean he's not a big in stature, but he's a big backside. So he would whenever as a defender you would rush him, he would just stick his butt out and he would jab at you, quote unquote jab at you, and push you away and then get onto the ball. And they see Mbeumo or something like that. So that's how I think Mbeumo would be used, because he's playing on the right side, similar position as Salah, but I don't think you would. Salah has pace, so I don't think you would use him in that similar situation where you would send him out like on a counter attack and make him use his pace to get the ball, go past the fullbacks and get in. But I think they would use him as an outlet where he would hold on to the ball and able to keep the ball till the other runners, possibly your right backs and even your left backs from the other side, your other 10 and your strikers come into the position. So he's a good outlet. I think that's how he'll. I'm just so fascinated. I'm just so fascinated to see what happens when Matheus Cunha and Mbeumo are starting on the same team. I mean, it's crazy. Just look at the amount of outlets that Bruno has. I mean, Bruno is staying. He's going to play. So he's going to play one of the pivot positions. So he'll probably be a little behind them. But just look at the outlets he's going to have. I'm excited. I just want to see. I mean, let's hope for the best. That I'm just curious how this team with these players would compare to some of the weapons we had in like 2020, 2021, when Ronaldo, Rashford, Martial, Greenwood. So I'm looking forward to this. So let's see. I think that should be done pretty soon. At least I think he'll be available for the preseason. The next topic was so there were some rumors about Lisandro Martinez and how some teams are looking to get him. And I don't like the source. I'm not familiar with. I mean, I know about the source, but I don't know how they operate, because there's some sources who just put out news for the sake of it. So this was reports from Italy via the Mirror suggest that Napoli, who recently clinched the Serie A title, have shortlisted Martinez as a potential recruit this summer. Napoli sporting director Giovanni Mana is said to be an admirer of Martinez and is not overly concerned about his fitness issues. So that's one of the concerns of Lisandro Martinez that Man United also has, is he's been injured. Even the first season, which was Ten Hag's first season, he was injured. If you remember that wrap around his head, and he went down against, I think he went down against Sevilla, and he was out for that season. Then now he's out in this season for with an ACL, and who knows how long he's going to. I think he's walking because they have pictured him coming into the stadium to watch some of the games. So maybe he's back to walking, but fit enough to play, I don't know. But I still don't think Man United would sell them, because, as I mentioned, why Ruben Amorim wants Bruno, one of the main points is because he's a captain material. Lisandro Martinez is of the same cloth. So you need to hold on to these players, because you're not just looking for technical aspects in players, but you're also looking for what they do in the dressing room, where they push these players to achieve a goal. So I think Man United will sell them. Also, this is nonsense. I mean, Napoli is coming in for a Man United defender, especially a defender who the manager and the club want to keep. There's no way, even if they quote a price, there's no way they would be able to pay anything which Man United would accept. So I think this is going nowhere. And it's not like Man United don't like Lisandro. He was playing regularly. He was the one who was creating all the goals. Him, Bruno and Ahmad. And then you lost Ahmad and Lisandro within a space of few weeks. And that was part of the reasons why Man United didn't finish the season well. So I think when he comes back, he gets his starting position back over Luke Shaw. Luke Shaw becomes what is that? A backup, or Luke Shaw might be put in a wing back position. But then Dogu, I think they like Dogu. I like Dogu. I don't know what the deal is going on with fans not being happy with Patrick Dogu, which I think is good. He just has some crazy moments, but besides that, he runs the channels, runs the lanes. He's able to cross in. It's just that nobody at the end of it is able to convert it. He's a workhorse, figuratively a workhorse. So you definitely want, and you don't know how many games you'll get from Luke Shaw. So I don't think Lisandro Martinez is going. I think this is just nonsense news. That I don't think. I would be very, very surprised if David Ornstein or Fabrizio came out with any credence to this transfer news. But let's see what now. And then finally, there was the quarterly financial statements for Manchester United were released on Friday. I'm not going to go into the specifics, but obviously they made a lot of cuts. They showed an improvement in revenue, but the main thing which I want to discuss is the wage structure. So United have been offering more incentivized contracts with lower base salaries over the past 18 months. So you can see that the wage structure has gone down, but is that only mainly due to because they're not in the Champions League anymore, and so all these contracts of the players have these clauses where if you're not in the Champions League, you get a reduction, and possibly, but there's also been some redundancies where they have removed a lot of people from their payroll. So But I'm just concerned about the players' wages, and because once you get them on crazy wages, that's when if they don't work out, then you're stuck with them. And even though have been rumors about how much Matthias Cunha and Bryan Mbeumo are going to get, I still don't think that they're going to get more than 200k per week. So this is what it's been mentioned, that United are trying to offload big owners such as Rashford, Casemiro and Jadon Sancho to make way for new arrivals this summer, and with plans to run with a smaller squad. It is possible that the club's wage could sit at around £285 million mark for 2025-26, which would be 80 million less than 2 seasons earlier. Yeah, they're just trying to get the wages under check. I mean, this is my general consensus on established players. Don't go for really established players, because then they're just coming to Man United for the swan song and they just want crazy money and they won't be able to produce. So gone should be the times when you're going to like the Real Madrids, the Barcelonas, the Bayern Munichs to get like players like Casemiro. I mean, the amount you can expect from them is much less than the amount you're going to pay for them. So I'm glad we are just going for up and comers, but right now we are in a bad situation. So we have gone in for 25-year-olds in Matthias Cunha and Bryan Mbeumo, and even possibly a 26-year-old Gyökeres. So that's a good age range, especially for those, because the name of the game is goals. So you need goals, and sometimes you can't compromise on those positions. So I'm glad that they have gone with some experience at those positions. But then going for 29, 30-year-olds, even though they are world class and have won everything at other clubs, no. That's just giving other clubs an out to get rid of their players. So I'm glad that they are trying to do this, because once you get your wage structure under control and your transfer fees, then you have a revolving door for these players. So then they don't tend to stick if they are not getting playing time. But if you give these crazy wages, then you have these players who are willing to ride the bench and just wait it out. So that's the biggest problem. But I'm glad they're getting a hold of this, and let's see what happens. That's all for today's Manchester United news. If you have any comments, please leave them below and let me know what you would like me to talk about in future videos. Also, please like and subscribe so that it helps other people find this video. Thank you so much.